So, yeah, I finally finished The Witcher, and I really liked it. So I decided to make a quick review of my experiences, just stuff I liked, stuff I didn't like. So, enjoy. Alright, so I'm going to start off with the characters. When I first started the game, it felt kind of muddling. I was muddled because so many names were just thrown at me, and it mixed with Geralt's amnesia. I was just left confused as to who I did know and who I didn't know, especially during the outskirts quests. And that was just made worse by the fact that so many of the non-important NPCs just have the same recycled character model. But it didn't really matter because the confusion didn't last long, and there really are a lot of characters in this game. Now, when it came to the more important NPCs, there really was a host of well-defined characters. Each of them were individually interesting, and they seemed to have well-developed personalities. All of the NPCs also had different relationship levels with Geralt that were heavily impacted by the choices he made, both the actual choices in quests and the dialogue choices. I especially liked Dandelion. It was always a pleasure talking to him.
Milady, Geralt and I have devised a short poem for two voices. Care to listen?
What?
Proceed.
His lips sealed, his eyes blank, his breast stone cold, his heart has ceased. Still in this world, yet no longer apart. Who is this man?
A corpse.
You're the corpse. My lady, forgive me. A hornet stung my friend in the ear. Venom went to his brain. Ceased? Corpse? Nice rhyme. Geralt, try again.
So yeah, the good characterization really made the land of Temeria seem alive, and I began to really care for the characters, always thinking how my actions would affect them. Well, everyone except for this guy. I hated this guy.
Why did they take Princess Ada's pony away from her? She would have found it difficult to digest.
So, I mentioned choices a minute ago. I think one of the most important factors in an RPG is choice. And there are a hell of a lot of choices in this game.
You threaten us, Dwan? But no, 6 ape people, including women and children, remain inside the crypt with the ghouls. Kill us, and you'll never reach them in time. Aid them, and we'll be free. Choose, mutant.
Even the side quests had choices. I love the way how the story choices were so impactful, the way how the characters reacted, and the world itself is so reliant on the decisions you make. Most of them had deeper consequences, which is always good. Not all of the available choices are as obvious too. Without going too far into it, in a later ended story quest, I was tasked with taking care of a recurring beast deep within a crypt. I was then locked inside the crypt, and I assumed, oh okay, I'm here to kill the thing. Ran in, swords ablazing, fought and killed the beast, only to find out hours later that there was a different way for me to go about the quest. The story had a dark, gritty, adult tone to it, the whole atmosphere did, and I thought it played out really well, and I really liked it. It seemed to keep itself up. It gets entwined with a conflict between a militant organization called the Order of the Flaming Rose and a non-human freedom-fighting force known as the Scoia'tael, or Squirrels. Geralt's involvement in this uprising is completely optional, and I wanted to play the fence as I could see both sides were wrong, and being neutral seemed like the Witcher thing to do. But I eventually wound up helping the uprising despite their representative Yavin. Yeah, despite his overwhelming penicitude. During the game, I could see how my actions were playing out, and I really began doubting everything I was doing to help these people. Even though while helping the squirrels there were still many options for me to take, I stuck it out, and by the end I felt like my decisions were justified. Plus, Yavin really grew out of his penicitude and became a likable character.
No. With your conscience, you're hardly suited to be a revolutionary.
I really did like the timed combat thing, and the mix of the different swords, signs, and alchemy add a strategic element and allow preparation before battle. But the hit detection in this game is virtually non-existent, at least for Geralt anyway. I honestly didn't know when I was taking damage. I mean, both damage counters for Geralt and the enemy are both in red, and sometimes it felt like I was taking damage for the enemy. They could just be standing there and still do hella damage to me. But I guess that could be blamed on the extravagant, flamboyant nature of the different witch combat styles, which themselves were great fun to employ for different baddies and monsters. Combat and quests reward with experience, and leveling up allows you to spend talents or experience points into different areas like swords, magic, or buff stats like resistances. You can also put it into alchemical skills. But looking back, I really think I should have invested more into stun resistance, because I got stunned a lot, and that was annoying.
Delicious. Ooh, where are my manners?
Oh yeah, speaking of monsters, I love the range of different monster types and just how they looked. There was also bestiary entries for each creature that provided information and tips for battling the creatures or the environments they occurred in. The locations and environments in the game, well, there were a few, and it really seemed like I was either in the swamp or the Zima, but I didn't really mind it because the locations themselves were pretty roomy and fun to explore. They also looked pretty good, which helped with the immersion. I can't really fault the music either. Each song complemented the environment it was played in, and every time I heard the battle theme, I couldn't help but sing along. However, I absolutely hated the Swamp Cemetery. It had terrible visibility and an abundance of invisible walls. Just made getting through that place a nightmare, especially at nighttime.
Your mother sucks dwarf cock.
Aside from side quests, there are a few other diversions, like the Fight Club thing, or the dice shooting gambling thing. Even though that was highly random, there were still alternative ways to get gold, which I noticed was pretty difficult to come by. I like that, because usually in games I become a multi-hoop billionaire before I know it. Activities also included an alchemy option, where it was possible to craft those famous witch potions, oils for your swords, and bombs. But in order to find herbal ingredients, I needed to read books on certain plants before I could pluck them for brewing. This applied to monster sampling. I couldn't remove certain parts of a monster until I had its bestiary entry, which was unlocked by reading books on said creature's class. This was kinda cool, and it made gathering slightly more dynamic. Though it came to bite me in the butt when I couldn't find any more damn Alps to give to the damn dentist. Overall, the game's amazing. The story, the combat, the characters, everything really pulled me in, and there's not much I can fault about it. I'm glad I played it, can't wait to see what improvements have been made in the sequel, and I'm excited about seeing which characters which characters move on to the sequel.
Go away.
I was born ready.
Oh yeah, what's up with those cards? You know the ones I mean. I got quite a number of them, but I didn't manage to record them all. Aww.